Applesauce, bitch.
Hello, everybody. This is Choice.
This is Tom.
And this is the Applesauce Podcast. Welcome to another show, episode 2.
Another week.
We're doing this kind of ad hoc today. Tom's calling in on a cell phone. We're recording it in the GarageBand. So I'd like to say I apologize for the quality,
audio quality.
Yeah, but screw it.
But
I've heard worse.
A podcast done.
I've heard worse. To be honest with you,
really,
I've heard worse audio quality than this. Yeah.
Oh wow! I think it's important that we get one done. So
yeah,
content is more important than the quality. You can always work on quality and improve. So
exactly. My thoughts exactly. So we don't have video for this one either. So this is
that's something we're gonna have to work on.
One of the lost versions. Okay, so I guess let's see what happened this week. What do you want to start out with? Let's start with Papa John's. I feel like that's a good lead into everything else.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. That popped up earlier today, and I thought that was interesting.
Yeah,
they're considering ending their NFL sponsorship, that's huge.
Yeah, I know. They said it's actually hurting sales. Is what the guy thinks. I forget what's the guy's name. The guy that owns Papa John's.
Papa John.
His name's not Papa John. It's ridiculous.
That's what I thought.
John Schnatter. Okay. Yeah, John Schnatter. So I guess he's
John, Papa John.
Well, they might call him Papa John actually. So, yeah. I don't know. I guess he's got to do what's best for the business.
What do you think about this?
I guess if he starts pulling out, then other people might start pulling out. But maybe not everybody's seeing hurts in their sales.
What do you think? Like, if other people started pulling out, what do you think the NFL does about it to fix it? Like, they're a huge corporation.
I would think they would have come up with something already. if they had something up their sleeve, they would have implemented it already. I know what they could do, but I don't know if they will do it or why they haven't already. The thing would be to put in their contract in the NFL players' contracts that they have to stand for the pledge. That's the only way.
Other what do you call it? NBA does that, don't they?
Yeah, the NBA players have that in their contract that they have to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Or the national anthem, not the Pledge of Allegiance.
But they couldn't just do that
right. That's what they're saying.
We're going to change everyone's contract.
Yeah, their contracts are already signed and inked. So what I was saying is they grandfather everybody in that's in now, and then slowly phase it out. So in 4 years, the turnover would be kind of in NFL terms, it'd be like a whole different group of people.
Wouldn't there be can't they, isn't it their contract they have to follow the rules of the NFL, and can't the NFL just make that a rule?
I don't know if it'll work that way though.
Yeah, but I would imagine
I feel like they would have
to do.
Right, they have morality clauses, is that what they call them? They can't do drugs and they can't do
well, I'm not even talking about that.
Domestic abuse and stuff like that. All that, anything that comes up that they can't. That's their freedom of speech. They can't tell them they can't have freedom of speech.
While they're on the job, they can.
That's what I don't know if they could do that. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, they can. You don't have to pay someone for their freedom of speech, though. You have freedom of speech. You can do whatever you want.
I think they would have done it. Why haven't they done that already then?
I think they're just trying to walk the line between both people, both groups of people. There's a group of people out there that watch the NFL. They were like, yeah, we want to see these protests because this is mainstream. And then there's a group of people out there that are like, no, we don't. This is not the place. I didn't come here for politics. I came here to watch some football. And so I think they're trying to walk a line between that, and
I think they've already damaged. They pissed both sides off already.
I agree. I think they should have just made a choice one way or another. They should have. Yeah. They should have just changed the rules, because then weren't they expecting that at one point a while back?
No, I don't think so. I think Colin Kaepernick's suing them now. So, I mean, I don't think it's going away anytime soon.
Oh, that's so funny.
I love that. I don't know. It just is what it is. They kind of they squeezed him out, so he's just making more noise for them. So, I mean, the ideal thing would be just to hire him back for like a year. Maybe he gets hurt, and then they have a reason not to put him back in.
Maybe he gets hurt. That's horrible.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't like the guy, but I don't want to see him get hurt.
They already do that anyways. Like they'll put in they'll give people bonuses for hurting a quarterback or something like that, or like hurting a star player.
Really?
Yeah, that's common practice in the NFL.
Wow.
I think it might be less common now, but it was a thing for a while.
So let me just say real quick, I don't watch football at all. And if you're listening to this podcast, I know barely anything about football. The only thing I know about football is what I've seen in movies. So I know the basic rules of the game, but like I don't really watch any team. I don't really follow it. So like when Nick says like, oh yeah, they've done this, that's a shock to me that like that's happening in the NFL. Like
it's not that bad. I don't think it's that. It's not like
that's corruption.
It's like under the radar though. I wouldn't say it's corruption. I would just say it's like it's kind of incentive to play the game harder. Or yeah, I mean it is borderline cheating to some extent, but I mean that's just how the game works. It's just
like you're specifically paying someone to specifically hurt someone on the field.
Yeah,
like, not just tackle them, not just stop them.
Yeah, like incapacitate them.
Wow,
like
I did not know that what happened. Like that's crazy to me.
That's weird that you're just finding that out.
Well, like I said, I don't really watch any of this. I don't follow. I mean, the largest knowledge I have of football is probably the movie Any Given Sunday. Like pretty much, if it didn't exist in that movie, I pretty much don't know about it in terms of football.
I don't even know what to say about that. I don't know.
It's a good fucking movie, though.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I agree.
It's a great movie. I actually just watched it recently, which is kind of weird.
Did you? That had
yeah, it was on. What?
That had Al Pacino in it and Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx is so young in that film. It's so weird to see him so young.
Yeah, it was like 20 years ago, though, didn't it?
Like Cameron Diaz was hot.
That's the only other movie she's been hot in. Is Any Given Sunday? She was hot in The Mask.
She was just like
The Mask. She was like really hot.
Yeah, these like early like movies.
But she had like longer hair and yeah, like something about Mary. She was really hot in too.
Yeah, it's just like it felt like 5 years after that, she was just like taking role after role. Like I really feel like her hotness level went down when she did Charlie's Angels. So I just thought that movie was stupid.
Yeah, that was a bad movie. They made money off of it, no, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, look at what they make money off of, though.
Yeah, I mean, it just is what it is. You got to sell your soul.
Might be a good. It might be a good segue from what?
No, go ahead. I was going to reference Jay and Silent Bob.
It might be a good segue into our movie review for this week.
Okay, yeah, I mean, we could do it now.
Or you want to talk about it at the end?
I kind of usually want to do it at the end.
All right, let's just do it at the end, then.
Yeah. Production meeting over.
On-air production meeting.
Yeah, that happens all the time. Let's talk about Mr. Manafort. That happened this week, right?
Yeah, we were talking about that on Monday.
Oh wow,
like, Monday morning.
Yeah,
it seems so long ago, doesn't it?
Yeah, it feels like it was like weeks ago, literally.
Yeah,
I guess that's how fast things move today. Jesus.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So Paul Manafort and his business associate, right, Robert Gates, got had to turn themselves in. And
they surrendered.
They got indicted on like 12 counts of fucking money laundering, right? Like conspiracy against the U.S. Not registering as foreign agents. I forget the list. There's a long fucking list of things.
There was tax evasion, and then there was like the registering as a foreign agent, and the other thing I feel like it's kind of loose. Like
I don't think it is.
They don't.
If you're working, it's like
tax evasion shit.
Yeah, I mean he's like he's getting what are they? They have him supposedly laundering $18 million.
Yeah,
and it was like a family business. His daughter is like might be in trouble for this. Because
which is like, good.
They would so there's something with like Airbnb where like you're not or New York, I guess, that you're not allowed to lease anything or you're not allowed to rent anything under a day or under 30 days or something like that. So Airbnb is technically illegal in New York. But they opened up a bunch of like Airbnbs, and we're, I guess, getting a revenue from that. So that's one thing.
What a stupid thing to get like caught for.
I mean, I don't think that's it though. I think they were like buying properties to like flush money, right? Is that what they usually do? They get a huge like bunch of money and then they buy like properties cash or something like that. It's like a way to launder money.
Yeah, but he was also using like his money, so like he was making millions overseas, never claiming it and never bringing it in the United States, but he was using that money in the United States to purchase things.
Yeah.
To purchase like houses and like live a very luxurious lifestyle.
Well, that's what I just said.
And never having to actually pay.
He washed the money. He washed the money with property.
Yeah, that's another thing he was doing.
Yeah.
But I mean, with the foreign agent thing, they have to prove that he was like lobbying for.
He was lobbying for like the Ukrainian or the Russian-backed Ukrainian president or something like that, right? Was it?
Yeah, but he was just a political consultant for them. That's not illegal, and that's not something that's out of the ordinary for political consultants to do.
To work with Russia, like directly like that.
To work in other countries for political, because everyone looks at our politics as like the epicenter of political power. And so these ideas that these people would come up and make, be political consultants in the United States, well, other countries want to take advantage of their knowledge. Yeah. And so it's not uncommon for a political consultant, especially when it gets to a very high level, to, in our off season, go to other countries and be a consultant for political campaigns in other countries. It's really not out of the ordinary. Now, his was weird because he was doing it for a Russian who was trying to, Russian backed people in Ukraine, but it's not that out of the ordinary because the Russian party has always been part of the Ukraine since the Soviet Union collapsed.
Right.
It's just
you just have to tell. If you join a U.S. campaign, you just have to disclose that. I think is what wasn't done properly. No,
if you look up the foreign agent, you have to actually be lobbying to the government on behalf of another government outside of the United States. So he actually had to be trying to push
Russian agendas,
lawmakers in a certain way, and so they have to prove that it's not just working for another
working for a foreign government,
for another campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not just working for it. Like if we did IT work, then that wouldn't be a problem. But if we came back to the United States and tried to lobby IT legislation after working for that other company, then that starts to become a problem because we're actually lobbying for something that benefits that other country in the United States.
Right, and so I think he worked with like a Russian oligarch though that was directly, I guess. Linked to Putin. Right. I mean, that's their job to do. I mean, but they at least brought charges on him for it. So they probably have evidence of it.
Yeah. It'll be really interesting to see the evidence to that. And the other stuff everyone knew about though, that was very common knowledge.
That's what it's like. It was common knowledge, but he had, I mean, they had to build a case for him. They had to trace the money. They had to do it.
But that's why he was fired from the campaign because we knew this was happening.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the Russian thing was the thing that got him kicked off. I don't think the money laundering got him kicked off, did it?
No, it was the money laundering stuff. Yeah. Then when he was hired into the campaign, no one had really looked into him, and then when they started to really look into him after. Because Lewandowski was lead of the campaign, and Trump was in a really weird position during the campaign because none of the really major campaign people wanted to work with him.
Yeah,
he had pissed off so many people in the right side that no one really wanted to. It wasn't that he was particularly toxic, in my opinion. It's just he had pissed off so many people during the primaries that no one really wanted to go work on his campaign. So he kind of didn't have a lot of choices when it came through, and he didn't have the staff, I don't think, in place in order to vet a lot of people that were going to work on his campaign. Like some other campaigns had people in it because they had run campaigns before. They already had people in place that they would use for some of this stuff. So he got put into the position of running a campaign, and it was like, oh, shit. This person has, a shitty past to him, and then they fired him.
Let me go get that guy that used to, was my back channel to Russia.
Because it was Conway who came after Manafort, I think.
Kellyanne Conway. She wasn't. Yeah. She was just the. Wasn't she just like the communications manager or something for it? She wasn't the campaign chair, no?
She was the campaign chair.
Was she?
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
After Manafort, she became campaign chair.
I thought it was somebody else. I thought it was this Robert Gates guy that became the campaign chair after him.
Campaign chair and campaign manager are two separate things. You can be both, but not necessarily. The campaign chair might not necessarily be the campaign manager.
Right.
But she was the first woman to successfully run a campaign for presidency all the way to completion to win. So, it was funny that the media never looked at that, and they just mock her, and it was like,
she was being like very ridiculous though, with like the deflecting of questions and stuff like that. She wasn't very straightforward person. Not like any of them are. Yeah.
And I'm fine with people going after her for that. It's just the stuff like the Saturday Night Live stuff and things like that. Had they done that to Hillary, it would be the most sexist thing in the world.
I think they
don't like this woman. It's okay to make sexist jokes and call her stupid and all that stuff. It kind of pisses me off because it's a double standard from some of that stuff.
I don't know. I feel like it's not a double standard. If you can make fun of her, like you shouldn't be able to not make fun of her because she's a woman. Isn't it kind of just it's a sign that she is getting the fair treatment by them making fun of her?
But if you had done it to Hillary, anytime someone criticized Hillary, you were a bigot, you were sexist, you were this.
I don't think that. I don't think it was that. I don't think it was. I think it was the way that you criticize, I guess, and it was like
it was any criticism.
Well, it was very no. It was like. There's like the lock her up stuff and then the kill her. There was stuff about like killing her, or that she was like the devil or satanic. The Alex Jones stuff that she smelled like sulfur. Like I don't know. That was just like very like over the line. It just didn't seem like it didn't come from a real place. They were mocking it. They weren't. Yeah. It wasn't like what do they call it? It wasn't what is the damn word? I can't remember the word right now. It wasn't.
That brings up another double standard of showing Trump like dead. Like I don't know if you noticed that. Like you saw the Snoop Dogg.
I thought that was stupid. I thought that was stupid. Yeah, and what is the girl's name? Kathy Griffin. Yeah. Like with the severed head of him.
Had anyone ever done that to Obama, the left would have blown a fucking gasket.
Yeah,
but it's okay to do it when it's the president you dislike, though.
I think there's a couple different things though. Obama was a black guy, so like that any pictures of him with a severed head or there were things floating around.
Double standard though.
There were memes floating around about like hanging him and stuff like that. So like that's why it was,
which is horrible.
Yeah,
and the left said it was absolutely horrible that happened.
Although, I think the Trump's the severed. Yeah,
that they don't like. They promote it though.
No, I think Kathy Griffin was kind of widely condemned for that, right? She got fired.
She was, but not the Snoop Dogg stuff.
The Snoop Dogg stuff, I don't even know whether I think she overshadowed that. I feel like didn't that happen like the same? Didn't that happen like the same week?
No, well, I didn't see that the same week. I saw that like later, but maybe I'm just seeing something old,
Yeah, I thought the Snoop Dogg stuff was stupid too. I don't know. I don't agree with any of that. That's it's over the line. I think he'll take himself out of office. I don't think he needs to die to get. There's this. In addition to this, I guess on the same lines, this Greg Papadopoulos guy was the first guy to take a plea bargain in the special counsel investigation. He's cooperating with the authorities, and he might get like between like I think 0 to 6 months. And they're thinking that he might not get anything.
Is he the same as the other one? Like, is a foreign agent and shit like that?
I believe so. Like he went on some trip to like he was trying to get Putin and Trump in a meeting together during the campaign. And Sessions came up into this because he told him not to do it, but the guy went to Russia anyway. So they're trying to see if he did it under the campaign's direction. But they're saying he acted as a lone wolf essentially, and going over to Russia and I guess trying to What is it?
Like he did it without permission.
Yeah, like set up meetings between or try to collude between Russia and the United States. So yeah, he's like the first one to fall. And then
now, did he work for the Trump campaign or just
correct? He was. They called him like a low level campaign employee or something like that. That's how they're spinning it right now. Is that he was just a liar and low on the totem pole. But he was he was in a meeting directly with Trump. Like there's a picture of like him sitting in the same meeting with Trump. I don't know, man.
I'm sure this stuff you can find everybody who's attached to the campaign in the picture with Trump. I mean, anybody who had anything.
Well,
really
it's him and Carter Page are the two guys that they're looking at as like kind of the low level campaign people that were like they both took trips over to Russia during the campaign, which is not
like if you're talking about
was not unusual,
or
but
something like that. Like if you were talking about Lewandowski or somebody who was like at his side all the time, but like if low level, like if he's not.
I felt like Lewandowski came up in this too, didn't he? Like Lewandowski had something come up.
I wish he would just fucking go away. He was one of the most annoying people in the campaign.
I don't know. It's just weird now that like all this stuff is kind of coming to light. Not coming to light. I mean, it came to light like a year ago, but I mean, it's now just getting traction.
Lewandowski was just. He kept getting into fist fights with people.
He like, did he? Oh yeah.
You don't remember that? Like 3 times he got in a fist fight with somebody.
Lewandowski. I felt like he came up in the news somehow. Anyways,
it'll be interesting to see what some of that outcome, what comes of some of that stuff. That
I think they have to flip. They're going to try to flip Manafort, and I mean they're going to put a lot of pressure on him. He's looking at like fucking life, probably.
I don't think there's anything to flip. I think he would have done it already. I mean, it's been a year.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have pleaded not guilty if he was going to flip. It's like, I don't think you get a year down the road and his lawyer doesn't say, like, if they were going to flip, they would have done it already. They would have, his lawyer would have been like,
maybe he's just trying to, I don't know, maybe he's trying to put on a brave face right now. And then secretly he's like, because I heard Mike Flynn's working with the feds now. I think that was in the indictment, is that Michael Flynn was one of the ones that was cooperating now.
Yeah.
And they got him under that Foreign Agent Act thing, probably more than Manafort. I mean, they got him kind of dead to rights.
Yeah, like Manafort's going to go to jail for the
money laundering.
But I mean, money laundering. He's definitely going to go to jail for that. And there was something else too that had to do with money.
Tax evasion.
To be armed.
And in addition, okay, go ahead. Go finish your point.
No, I was just going to say he's going to go to jail for these things. So that's why I'm saying, like, if he had information, if he was going to flip, he would have done it then. And he's also someone who's Trump fired. So I don't think you would see a lot of loyalty for someone who worked for Trump for basically 2 months. And then Trump fired him because
I think Robert Gates stayed on afterwards, which is like one of the points is he didn't get fired during the campaign. So
yeah,
and he kind of was privy to some of the, I guess, dealings of Paul Manafort and I guess his affiliations and stuff like that.
They would have done it by now. I mean, I just think he would have tried to push down his tax evasion, because he's going to go to jail for probably like 20-some years on that.
Well,
tax evasion.
the thing is, yeah, like what I was going to say is like there's some New York tax evasion laws that he's going to get tried under, not only federal but state. So the state stuff, Trump can't pardon. He can only pardon federal crimes.
Yeah.
So like maybe he's just not cooperating because he knows he can't get a pardon. Or I mean, actually now maybe he's thinking he can get a pardon.
Well, at the end of the day, why would Trump pardon someone he fired, though? That's the thing.
Yeah.
You still need to like prove the connection of like Paul Manafort only worked there for 2 months, and
right.
So it's like, and he got fired by the Trump campaign. So how much loyalty does he really have?
I don't think he has anything.
The Trump campaign.
I don't know if Trump has any people loyal to him.
Right. So I think he would have flipped already if he had something, and he would have used it to his advantage to get out of some of his stuff, and this would have been over. So I think they're dragging this along just because it's something they can put in the news, Russia connection. But at the end of the day, I think he's going to go to jail for his tax evasion stuff for a long time.
Well, no, I think you're probably going to start.
The Russia thing's going to be a big nothing burger like Banjo.
No, it's not a nothing burger. Definitely. They got other people that they're probably going to indict as a result of all the stuff that all the information that they're gathering. There's going to be like Mike Flynn, definitely. I feel like Mike Flynn's definitely going to get indicted. And then they probably have like Jeff Sessions is in the hot seat right now for lying under oath. And then, the whole Comey firing thing too, which Mueller and Comey are like friends too. So they fired one of his friends. So I don't know. I feel like more. I don't think it's going to go away. I don't think it's going to go with Manafort and Robert Gates. I think it's just it's gonna keep. I think it's gonna go on like until the end of Trump's term if he just doesn't bail. In addition to that, they're looking into Trump's finances too. So I don't know. Trump doesn't scream clean tax practitioner to me. But I don't know. That's.
Well, he gets audited every year. So I mean, if he had tax problems, they would have found it already.
Well, that's what his legit corporations. But like the Trump modeling agency has like some kind of discrepancy where it's like not even a real company or something like that. Have you heard that?
No. And they were like a Trump company, or is it just licensed Trump?
It might just be licensed Trump, but they were using, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like there's some kind of conspiracy, like, I don't know if it's a conspiracy or some sort of like anomalies with it, where, yeah, like they canceled their Twitter account. And then like, they said like they were having a hard time proving that it was a legitimate company.
And then at the end of the day, you have to prove that he did it too. So like as a corporation that he owns, it's run by other people.
Right.
Those people would be in trouble, not necessarily Trump.
Well, it depends on where he sits, right? Doesn't it depend on where he sits? Like even in Enron, they got like the CEO for that, right? For that stuff.
Yeah, but the CEO and the board were approving the things that they were doing.
Right.
So
I mean, you have to prove that.
Yeah, you have to prove that like he said, yeah, go do that tax evasion, hide that shit. Do this weird thing, which I just don't think he has. Like his organization is too big for him to do that on like a small part.
I don't know about that. He seems like one of those guys that micromanages everybody.
No, I mean, I just don't think he knows enough to do it. That's the thing.
He's not smart enough to commit a crime.
I just don't think the day-to-day like finances of a corporation. I don't think he gives a shit. He just wants to be Trump, and I think he makes investments, but he makes a lot of shitty investments too.
Yeah.
And like we've seen that in the past with something like the XFL, or I forget what was it that he did.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of shitty investments he did. And so the idea that he would have another shitty investment off to the side here doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah. I don't think it surprises anybody.
I mean, and you have to also be thinking about like how much money is this model agency and how much is he trying to hide with it?
I think that's where they got the girls for like Miss Universe and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm speaking kind of out of my depth right now, but I think that's like that. There's like some big kind of thing where it was like a news article that I read. I don't know. I can't remember. I think it was like maybe The Guardian or something like that, where they were saying that him and Jeffrey Epstein. Have you heard of this guy? The Lolita Express guy?
I've heard the name.
We're like in cahoots to like human traffic Russian girls over here or something like that. So it's like, I don't know. It's kind of a big it's like a very big allegation, but I mean it doesn't sound like it's. I mean, if Jeffrey Epstein was involved, I mean it's definitely. I don't see it.
It sounds like an Alex Jones story.
No, I bet they used to hang out. They used to go to like the same hang out around the same circles and stuff like that. And Jeffrey Epstein's from Palm Beach Island, so it doesn't sound that out of the realm of possibility. So we'll see. I think I know Jeffrey Epstein paid off like some girls recently that he had some lawsuits against him for like the underage sex or something like that. He paid the girls something. I think he gave each of them like $3 million or something like that.
Damn.
They shut up though.
I wish I had $3 million to make problems go away.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, how big of a problem is this for you? $1 million problem? A $2 million problem? $3? Okay, $2 million.
That's what I don't get about the Me Now stuff. Like the girls are like, they're coming out now, or Me Too, whatever. Like the girls are coming out now and saying it, right? But if it was that bad, then why didn't you do anything then, or you just took money and it was okay after that? The money made it okay.
Or when they don't name someone either, like somebody I watch all the time, Steven Crowder. That's one thing he says is like, name these people so we know who these like horrible people are in Hollywood.
Exactly.
He's like,
exactly.
It's just like, me too. I was raped, and it's like, who did it?
I know.
Especially the kid ones.
I don't want to
they're gonna keep doing it.
I understand why a rape victim wouldn't come forward immediately, but like still, it's one of those things that, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they just have to like, it just has to stew for like years until they just get up the courage to say, yeah, it happened. But it's still like it seems like it's easier now. Like today, like you don't get away with stuff like that anymore.
Did you see Kevin Spacey? How Netflix, like, severed all ties with him?
Give me a second. Let me go grab some water. I'm thirsty. But let's pick this back up in a second.
All right, I'm gonna take a drink too then.
All right, I'm back.
All right.
Yeah, fucking Kevin Spacey. What the fuck happened there?
And then he came out as gay, and it's like, oh, he's gay. He's so brave. And it's like, oh no, we all knew he was gay. Like,
no, he actually got he got backlash for coming out during that moment.
Well, obviously, because he was like trying to take the like, oh yeah, I raped a 14-year-old, but by the way, I'm gay, so
I was gay, so it's like, all right. I didn't know Kevin Spacey was gay. You knew Kevin Spacey was gay?
Oh, it was fucking obvious that he was gay.
What do you mean it was obvious he was gay?
Like, everyone in Hollywood knew that. I mean, that's just obvious. Like, you could just look at the dude and be like, yeah, you're probably gay.
No, I didn't get that vibe from Kevin Spacey.
Oh, I got that vibe from him immediately.
Well, he was bisexual, he said.
You have no gaydar. You absolutely have no gaydar, do you?
No, I guess not. It's usually he didn't come off as gay to me. He said he's bisexual though. He liked men and women.
He's just trying to make the girls he was with feel better.
I think that masked it for me. I think that threw me off.
I love how he's like, I don't remember it, but I'm sorry.
No, but like no.
That's what he said. That's what like his response was. I don't remember doing that, but it's like, I don't remember doing that, but it sounds like something I do when I was drunk. So I'm very sorry about it. Like, that was one of the weirdest things. And oh, by the way, I'm gay. Did you read that?
Yeah, I read it. And then he went in, then he said he was going into rehab, right? Like he's like, yeah, I need to go. I guess he went to like therapy or like something like that. He's like, I need to figure out what's going on. Like, I think you know what's going on. You're a pedophile.
Mr. Spacey, we have some bad news for you. You like children.
You came back as positive for pedophilia. So, he was like, he not only that, like that was the first guy to come out. And then, like a string of people came out after that. And not only that, the Netflix crew that was shooting House of Cards said he was sexually harassing everybody on the set. So
wait! I missed that you were laughing, Charm. What did they do?
There were like 8 people that came out and said that, from the crew of House of Cards, that said he was sexually harassing them.
Really?
Yes. Like from the actual, like recently, like the show, like he's on the show now. So I think that's why they canceled it so fast. I didn't realize they just like this were like, yeah, Kevin Spacey's out. I think they knew about it. I feel like it's like one of those things that like a Hollywood secret that everybody kind of knew about.
Well, they were kind of like on the fence about it too, and were wanting to end the series. So it wasn't that and almost just gave them the immediate thing. It's like, well, Kevin Spacey, we're cutting all ties with Kevin Spacey. We can't have the show without him, so we can cancel the show. Like, I feel like it was just a way because they wanted to. Netflix had said that they were kind of looking for a way to end the show or possibly move in a different direction with the show or something like that. Like that was already part of the plan. And then this was just like, yep, we have an excuse now. We can just do it.
I didn't know that they were looking to end the show. I thought it was really popular.
It's on season 7. But like, if shows get popular though, they become very expensive to make, and then the profit margin on them goes down. And so I think that's really like,
well, that's because they pay the actors more. Right?
yeah, they got to pay the actors more, they got to pay other people more, and so the profit goes down. Like I think the same thing happened to
Game of Thrones
show. Last Man Standing. I don't know if you ever watched that show.
No, that sounds like one of those reality shows.
No, it was Tim Allen's show. And, Tim Allen's conservative.
Wasn't
and like ABC canceled it, and like everyone was up in arms, like saying, "Oh, ABC's trying to sell conservatives," and it's like really the show was like approaching season 6. And it was getting difficult with like the age of some of the kids writing and like how much the production show, like the show was doing well, but was it being profitable enough to where they could take that same amount of money, make 3 other shows and make 4 times the profit? And a lot of that I think gets calculated into shows where people don't realize that.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Even they'll cancel a show if it's popular. That's weird.
If it becomes expensive to make, like if it's super popular and it's bringing other, so that's the other thing is it bringing other viewers into it? Is it your popular Monday night show and you're pushing Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night shows, and people are coming to those shows because you're promoting on that show? Then that makes sense. If a show's just popular and and it's just costing a lot, there's not a lot of profit margin, and you can't really push other stuff on that show, then really is it worth making that show? Could you take that $1 million a show budget and go make 2 or 3 other sitcoms for $200,000 a sitcom instead, and still sell the same amount of ads and make a lot more money?
I wonder if that's what happened in Arrested Development. That's what I was thinking about when you said that. It's like a really good show.
But it didn't really have that. How big of a run did that have? 3
seasons.
I guess so, yeah.
And I think it had a shortened 3rd season though. But it was like right when American Idol came out, and I was like, you're canceling the show but putting American Idol on. What the fuck is going on? That's probably what it was. Like it was just a money decision at the end of the day. It wasn't about how good the show was. Like how big of a cult following it was. It's about how much fucking money they're making.
At the end of the day, they're a corporation. They have to be profitable. They have a legal responsibility to be as profitable as possible. So.
Yeah, that's how you get shitty shows, I guess. Anyways, let's talk about Mercer stepping down. Are we done with Kevin Spacey? I mean, Kevin Spacey had a bunch of shit go on. Like he did it. Yeah. Like everybody knows he did it. So
he doesn't remember it, but he did it.
He was drunk most of it. There was a guy that said he woke up with Kevin Spacey like hugging him, and he was like kind of like just shocked. And then the guy wasn't even gay. He was a straight guy.
How is that not a Saturday Night Live skit? Like I want to see Trump wake up with Kevin Spacey hugging him.
Oh man, that might be too soon. I don't know. I don't. Yeah, they don't have good enough writers on Saturday Night Live to pull something like that off.
Oh my god, that would. The one thing that really pisses me off about the Saturday Night Live stuff, and it's not what they're doing, it's that Trump didn't try to play along with it. And that's like whoever runs his like communications department and campaign department, like that was the biggest missed opportunity in my opinion, is because as soon as that stuff would have came out, if I was Trump, I would immediately called Saturday Night Live and be like, when can I be on?
I think the cast just hated him so much. I don't know if anybody objected. Maybe he was like, didn't he try to come on? Hasn't he? He's been on.
Wait, no. This is the best part about it, though. He didn't try to come on, but this is the best part about it. If they say yes, then it looks like Trump is just playing along, and it's like, oh yeah, we're all laughing together. I'm kind of a funny guy.
And then it just kills it.
No, then they look like dicks for saying no, like saying we just want to make fun of you, but we don't want to actually know who you are. And so it would have been a win-win, whether they said yes or whether they said no. It would have been a win for them.
Yeah, definitely.
But how funny would it be to see both of them side by side? Alec Baldwin and real Trump.
I don't like how they got rid of Daryl Hammond, who was my favorite Trump impersonator. He was like the best impersonator on that show, like ever. Actually, no, I take that back. Bill Hader probably is, but he's got to be a close second because he did Clinton.
I never saw anybody but it.
He did Clinton. He did Trump. He did Jesse Jackson, which is fucking amazing. So he did like a bunch of different stuff. And he said that he had come to do Trump for the election, and Lorne Michaels had told him that they're not, or I think he like called Lorne Michaels and he's like, we're going in a different direction with Trump. Like they were saying, I guess he didn't pull off, I guess the new spirit of Trump, how he was during the election. which I thought was weird.
You know what?
It's like 90% of it's getting the voice down. If you could get the voice down, you could do anything with the writing.
You know what the problem was, though? They wanted someone who would overdo it, and Alec Baldwin overdoes it.
I don't like I don't like it. I don't like Alec Baldwin. I don't like him as Trump.
Yeah, but
I don't like his Trump.
The point of Alec Baldwin was to make fun of him as being mean, not just imitate him and be funny. It was, we have to make him look horrible.
Right, because he probably made him look likable. Like he had a likable Trump.
Right.
Like where like you kind of endeared him to that. But I think like the whole sexual harassment stuff, like you couldn't. I guess he did it with Bill Clinton, so he made the Bill Clinton like really like cool. Like he was like a cool guy. He probably did the same thing with Trump. Is like he couldn't pull off the whole the meanness, the mean-spiritedness of that campaign.
You know what's interesting is that the Sarah Palin thing. I can see my house from here. I can see Russia from my house
with Tina Fey. Yeah,
that was Saturday Night Live. She never actually said it.
I thought she did say something like that. I thought she said it in like a speech or something like that. I can look over. I can look over and see Russia.
No. What she said is Alaska and Russia are very close, and we're like neighbors, and that gave her like, what do you call it? Experience, foreign experience. But on Saturday Night Live,
oh my God, what?
Her saying, "Well, I can see Russia from my house," and everyone thought in the mainstream, everyone thought that she said, "I can see Russia from my house," but it was actually Saturday Night Live that said.
But it was so believable that people ran with it. How bad does your persona have to be for people to just go and run with something like that?
But that plays to the idea that Saturday Night Live thinks they can. What do you call it? They can influence the next election by making fun of Trump so much.
It's up to Facebook and Instagram now to influence the election. They got those guys in the hot seat right now. They had to go up to the Capitol Hill and testify and shit like that. I think there should be something to let you know where your information's coming from, because don't regular news organizations have to do that? They have to give you like sources and stuff like that, or like they tell you they tell you like this is unverified. Like you'll hear that this is unverified, but
they do that because they want you. They want you to trust them. They don't have to do it. Nothing says they absolutely have to do that.
Right? Because I mean, if you lose the trust, then there's no point in it being there.
Right. Exactly.
But it's not, I mean, like, you know, I guess there's bias built into like the stuff that they say, and, you know, everybody has their own opinion about that. So, but I mean, the stuff that just comes in fake, like from, you know, some Russian bot or something like that, or like a story that gets pushed to the front of the trending page because Russian bots liked it. X amount of Russian bots liked it is, I don't know. It's just weird that I don't even. How do they get rid of the bots? Is that possible? I'm trying to think. Like, how would you, like, other than like, you know, the CAPTCHA or some sort of other like human verification? Like, how would you get rid of that?
Well, they were what's his name? Who runs it? Zuckerberg. He said that they're actually trying to remove humans from it because of the bias of humans. Because like one time they had humans running like some of the like the trending stuff, and things that were like clearly trending higher were put lower in the list because they were conservative ideas, and the liberal ideas were put up higher in the list. And conservatives were like, "Hey, this doesn't match. Like, this is how many views, this is how many clicks, or whatever it is on Facebook."
Yeah, why would they do that? That's just
like, this isn't stupid. And Facebook had a bunch of conservatives come to Facebook, and they kind of did an apology. They're like, "We're sorry. We're trying to get this more computerized, so there's less people involved, so there's no biases, so that just the computer just generates the thing." But they brought Glenn Beck, S.E. Cupp, a few other conservative people, and we're like, "Look, we're sorry. We want your input on this as well. We don't want to isolate you because you're half the country. You know, your ideas are."
I mean, there's nothing wrong with like something conservative trending. I mean, I don't understand that. I think people just I don't know. I don't know.
So this is just a general bias, though. Everyone who works in Silicon Valley is mostly left-leaning. So, you know, that's the bias you're going to get out of that company.
But ironically, they helped elect Donald Trump. I think that's the funny part of that. what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something about the whole. Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking they just put some sort of like, you know, thing under it that says unverified or that's what I see on a lot of sites now, is it'll say sponsored link or something like that, and I won't click on it because it's just complete garbage. And it's like how to lose weight in 15 hours, how to lose 50 pounds in 15 hours, and I'm like, well, that's complete bullshit. But
I like the sites that tell you it's sponsored though. So like the Blaze is obviously something I go to.
Yahoo does that too.
You go through the line of stuff, and it looks like it's a legitimate story, but right underneath the thing, it'll say sponsored.
And I immediately know it's bullshit.
Right. You know. Well, his stuff is not necessarily bullshit. It's just sponsored. So it's like,
well, and most of it's bullshit. It's like how to work from home and make $20,000 a month, that kind of thing.
Dude, that's totally legit. What are you talking about? I clicked on that yesterday. I'm totally doing it.
I just signed up for it. All I had to do was pay $2,000 and I'm in. I buy a kit and then I set up and then I get people under me. And then I get so yeah, let's talk about Mercer while we're still on.
Yeah, we kind of just like went off on a tangent on that one.
And those are good. Those are good for the mind. Actually, we don't have much time, so yeah, let's get popping. Let's crank through these last couple. Let's talk about this for a couple minutes, and then Tomi Lauren, we'll get into her. We'll get inside of her.
I thought Mercer was interesting because he like pretty much wrote an apology letter, like saying like I really didn't intend for it to be this way. I had a, you know, these were the options I kind of had. Like he supported what's his name?
Ted Cruz.
No. You never mentioned Ted Cruz. It was
really
Milo Yiannopoulos. He kind of regretted supporting Milo. He never regretted supporting Ted Cruz.
Yeah, Milo was ridiculous. Yeah, that was like I knew Milo was just a paid whore. That's what Milo Yiannopoulos seemed like. He was just a paid whore. Anyways,
so he cut ties with that. He sold, which I thought was weird. He sold Breitbart, like his share in Breitbart, to his daughters, which I thought was kind of weird. But
right,
excuse me. But he just kind of was like, as he retired, he was just like, yeah, I didn't really mean it to be this way. You know, he was a big backer of Ted Cruz. That's who he really wanted. I mean, like,
I don't understand how you go from Cruz to Trump. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
You just don't have an option. What other option do you have?
You had Gary Johnson, right? What about Gary Johnson? He's a libertarian candidate.
Yeah, but he had no chance of winning. So I think
I know, but like at a certain point, you go with your principles, right?
Excuse me.
That's what your principles are for.
Right, but I think a lot of people thought that they could make, like Trump, they could either just get a coalition around him and we could get something done with, you know, someone who would sign stuff.
No, you know. It doesn't work that way with him. I'm sorry, guys.
But I mean, what other option does he have? I mean,
that's what I said. Like the third party candidate, like he could have propped up the third party candidate. Maybe Trump would have lost, but he still would have went with his principles.
I think he was just too deep into it. I mean, it's just like at some point, like you can't. By the time comes around, by the time the primaries are over, the third party candidate's either going to be there or not, and the third party candidate wasn't there, and so you have Trump and you have Hillary, and those were your options. And so he could sit it out and let the Hillary machine win, or he could at least put money behind someone who might sign bills for them. I think really the people who screwed us is Congress. Because
definitely. That was the problem to begin with. Like they couldn't get any fucking thing done. I don't know who. So, I don't know who put their trust in Congress. It's like that's a fool's errand.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we could have got done. They just won't fucking do what they said they were going to do.
No, it's about special interests now and lobbyists. They're running the country.
Like the what do you call it? The Obamacare thing. Like we had the vote. We had the ability to get rid of it. We were going to get rid of it. You've been saying for 7 fucking years you're going to get rid of it, and then you don't get rid of it. And it's like, well, everything that you ran on for 7 fucking years was worthless.
Well, I think it's because people liked it. The majority of people liked it.
It didn't matter who liked it. It mattered what you said you were going to do when you took money for support. So the idea that you spent 7 years saying one thing, and then voting one thing, and then when the time came, and we're not talking about We're not talking about like a 5-year difference from when they said we're going to get rid of it and we're going to keep it. We're talking about a few months and then saying, maybe it's not that bad. It's like, no, it was just as bad as it was 2 months ago when you wanted money for the vote that you didn't cast. I don't know. Sorry, that's something that's really pissed me off.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. Like they have like the ball, and they have like the 7-footers on their team, and they can't dunk the ball in.
I just wonder if Robert Mercer is like completely done. Like he's like, yeah, I'm not doing this at all, or if he's just going to privately support candidates after this.
It's weird that he feels some remorse for it, though, isn't it?
I think it's just a couple people that he funded that I think he just really didn't realize who they were at the time. Like I think Milo appealed to young people, and so like
did he really? Milo appealed to young people. That's so fucked up. That says a lot about our generation, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, at the time he was a bomb thrower, and he appealed to the free speech and everything on campus.
I knew it was bullshit, though. I knew as soon as I saw him, like he was full of shit.
Yeah, but the fact that he's a backer doesn't mean he's completely full of shit. I don't agree with him on everything, but there are a few things that like I do agree with him on. That like we should be able to have discussions and not have to call each other racist on either side. And we should be able to have free speech.
When you say black people aren't smart though, or can't be smart, that's kind of like the territory that he's in.
I've never heard him say that.
Well,
I've watched a lot of his stuff.
He said stuff like that, or he was like he'll make it so that like he's not racist for saying it. He's just saying something that's obvious.
I find it highly unlikely that him being married to a black man and he's able to say that stuff. That's
what I think. I mean, I think he just says it for attention.
Yeah, but do you think that man he keeps his private life? The person he's married to doesn't want to be part of his social stuff. So,
right. I think, he's just like a shock jock. Essentially, he just says stuff that he doesn't believe. He just wants to get attention. I can see some.
I've never heard him say that though.
I've heard him say stuff along those lines.
That black people aren't smart.
I've heard him say stuff like controversial stuff like that. Yeah.
But specifically, black people aren't smart.
I don't have a quote for you right now, if that's what you're asking for. But yeah, I've heard him say stuff like that.
But I mean, that's what you're saying. He said though. Like,
yeah.
I find.
And he also said having sex with 13-year-old boys is okay.
That one he did say.
Well, that one, yeah, I know for a fact he said it for word for word. But anyways.
Yeah, that one he did say.
Oh yeah, so I mean, he hasn't said anything else controversial. But anyways, I digress. Let's talk about Pulp Fiction because we only have 10 minutes left. Oh no, Tommy Lauren. We got to talk about Tommy Lauren.
I was going to say we're going to skip my future wife.
Oh God, she's just. I
threw the flag costume thing up there because I thought it was funny that what do you call it? Keith Olbermann called her out for using the flag as a garment or whatever, and he's like, you're not supposed to use the flag as this, and someone just retweeted right after the cover of his book where he's wrapped in a flag. It's like Keith Olbermann can't win. He's the worst media person ever.
He's said some stuff that's he's gotten to me too recently. It was about the Eminem did a freestyle. It was aimed at Trump. And he said I've never in the last 20 years I've never want to listen to hip hop until now. Everybody's just like, oh my God.
I remember that.
Yeah, everybody's just like, what the fuck are you there've been people saying this for 20 years. Anyways, Keith Olbermann, I don't know. He's gotten he's on the off list.
Yeah, I just thought it was really funny. He immediately said that about her costume. It's like, oh, well, here's a picture of you wrapped in the flag.
Keith.
But she looked really hot in her costume, though.
I bet, yeah. She's not bad to look at. She's just bad to listen to for me.
Did you watch her interview with Master P?
Yeah, I did. I watched it. Did you watch
the full interview?
I watched it was a 5-minute clip that I saw.
Yeah, I could only find a 5-minute clip.
I don't know if she had more than that. Did she have one more than that?
Yeah, it's a full interview. I think it's but it's on their Fox media, the online media platform or something where it's supposed to be for that. It's not. There's clips out there, but it's promoting her interview. Yeah. She's supposed to I think eventually have a show on Fox like online media.
Oh, so she doesn't have I thought she has like a regular show at night on Fox. No?
This is why she got fired from Blaze, is because Fox is going to start their own online thing, and so she signed on to be that, which would be a direct competitor of Blaze, which is a violation of your contract. And so, but Glenn made it out like it was because of something she said on the View.
Her principles or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that's really why she got fired, because it's interesting that she got hired at Fox News the same month that her contract was up at the Blaze. But anyway, she's been on the her final thoughts has been on Hannity for this past time. So she's working on this like digital venture with Fox, and then her permanent home right now is on Hannity, and she's doing her final thoughts on Hannity. So anytime, like when the Vegas shooting happened, Hannity was on site there. She was there with him because she's part of his show now, kind of. And also she's
part of the Hannity show now?
Kind of. Like, that's where her final thoughts are, and he has her as a guest regularly to talk
She's
about
sunk
stuff.
that far. She's on Hannity now.
Well, she will have her own show. It's just they're launching the Fox.
She can't wait to get off of the Hannity show. I know.
Dude, she's at the top. She's on Fox. I mean, I think she likes it.
Yeah, because she's not. Bill O'Reilly's not there. Foaming at the
Bill
mouth.
O'Reilly's up there harassing.
Painting like a dog.
But I'd like to see the full interview, because I think they're going to touch on a lot of good topics.
Yeah, I saw. I don't know. Like, is Master P Republican, or like he's just on there just kind of as like a promotion or something like that?
I think he just wants to have a dialogue with her. I mean, like he says at the opening, he's like, we can have a dialogue about this and not like hate each other,
right?
And so I think that's really, like, I think I really respect him for just like saying, all right, let's sit down and have a conversation. Like,
I thought it was very out of the blue. Yeah, I was wondering like why Master P. That was weird.
Yeah, I thought that was weird too, because I was like, what happened to this guy? Because I know he's like a big rapper.
Dude, he still has all his money. He still has all of that money he made. He made like
Doesn't he own an island?
He made like $300 million. I'm sure he does. He has like $300 million.
That was from rapping, or that was from
it was all from from the record label, from the movies, and everything else he did. I don't know if he had a clothing venture or anything else outside of that. That's what I don't know. I don't understand how he made all that money. Where did all that money come from? Anyways, all right. Did you have? There's another thing about Tomi Lahren in there.
No, there's not. There's just
the flag, the costume. Okay.
Yeah, we already talked about that. That was just Keith Olbermann. I thought was funny.
Yeah,
and that she looked hot.
Yeah. There you go. She's
my
hot.
Future wife.
She's hot until she opens her mouth for me.
It's my future wife, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
All right. Yeah. We can be civil, I guess. Shit. Let's talk about Pulp Fiction. So yeah, Pulp Fiction. Quentin Tarantino's. I guess, is this his biggest movie? It's got to be his biggest movie, or at least most recognizable.
Yeah.
Yeah, or most popular.
I don't think I've ever watched this movie all the way through.
No, you haven't?
No, I think I've only ever seen like clips on HBO or whatever. Like, what? I don't think because I was watching it, I was like, I don't remember this part, and I don't remember this part.
Maybe you just haven't seen it in a long time.
That's possible too, but I was watching it. It's like, I don't think I've ever actually sat down and watched this movie from start to finish.
Yeah, well, it bounces. Like, it's not linear.
Yeah, that's true. No one delivers a line like Samuel L. Jackson.
That was like kind of the perfect role for him, I thought.
Yeah, I agree. I think Samuel L. Jackson is going to be one of those people that is going to be even more appreciated after he's gone than he is today. Like, today, he's appreciated. We like him in films. Yeah. But, like, I think, like, 40, 50 years from now, he's going to be one of those actors who's like, wow, we had no idea he was that good, But,
yeah, I mean, yeah, he is amazing. He made that movie. Yeah, I think he made that movie, right? Wouldn't you say? Like, he's kind of the linchpin for that movie.
I absolutely agree, because, like, John Travolta, you could have replaced him with somebody else and it would have been fine.
Yeah. I guess
same with Uma Thurman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it came out in 1994. Isn't that crazy? I was 7 when that movie came out. I didn't see it until I was about like maybe like 13 or 14. I remember getting some backlash from my friend's parents for haven't seen it.
Wait, your friend's parents were mad at you?
Yeah, like we were talking. They were very Christian at the time. They still are, I guess. But he was my friend's dad we were talking. I forget how Pulp Fiction came up, and I was like, "Yeah, that's an awesome movie." And he was like, "You've seen that movie?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You shouldn't have watched a movie like that." And I was like, "It's already done, man. I don't know what you. I can't go back in time and unwatch the movie." But the part, the opening of it is like probably the best part, where they go to get the briefcase back from the guy. That's the opening, right? I think that's the first segment of the movie.
No, it's the two people on the.
Oh yes. They're about to rob the diner. They get up and start robbing the diner, but then it goes to that after that. Right?
Yeah, it goes to
it goes to
where they go pick up the.
Yeah, like that's got to be the most quoted scene out of that movie, where it's like, well, look at the big brain on Brad, like where he's and he was like, oh, that looks like a tasty burger. You mind if I try some of this burger? And then he's like, what? He's like, say what again? Say what one more time?
Say what one more time?
I dare you. I double dog dare you. Yeah, that movie is like just I think that scene though, like everybody quotes that scene. Like when you talk to people about it, like that's like the scene that everybody talks about.
I love the walk up to there, and they're talking about the foot massage thing, and like stuff like that, like those little like kind of lines that like people are just talking about, and it's not like a big line or anything. That type of stuff I absolutely love in writing and film, and I love it when they're talking and like finally he's like, rubbing a girl's feet is not like a sexual thing. It's way out of the thing. It's like, and John Travolta sounds like, so tell me this: would you give a man a foot massage? You know what? Fuck you. Dude, I love that part.
He's like, it's not even the same ballpark. It's not even the same fucking game.
So, would you give a man a foot rub? Fuck you.
It's like a checkmate argument. Mm-hmm. Oh man, yeah. So yeah, Pulp Fiction. I gotta go back and watch that again.
You didn't watch it?
No, I didn't. I remember enough about it. I think I've seen it enough to know kind of where everything is laid out, or how the movie flows. It's one of my favorite movies, definitely. Yeah, like the whole part where he has to like give her the adrenaline shot, and then the Bruce Willis storyline is like crazy, and then the whole them having to wash the brains out of the back of the car and clean the car.
I just love when the firearm goes off. What the fuck?
Oh shit, I shot Marvin. Like, you're just so nonchalant about it. It's like crazy. And I think
it's like, I didn't mean to do it.
And that was the start of Uma Thurman's, I guess, career, really, right? Like, was she doing anything
was that
before?
Her first movie?
I don't think it was her first movie, but I don't think she's really doing anything big before that. And then she got Kill Bill after that.
Yeah, but Kill Bill was a long time after that.
Yeah, but I mean, still, it came from that, her being in that movie.
She's done a lot of other stuff too. Like she was in Batman. She was.
She was the worst.
Stuff too.
She's the worst. That was like the worst Batman movie she was in.
What, Batman Forever?
Yeah, I think that was the one where George Clooney is like supposedly the worst one.
No, that's not Batman Forever. That's,
she wasn't in Batman Forever. Yeah, Batman and Robin. Batman Forever was the Tim Burton one, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
That was Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman.
Yeah, Michelle Pfeiffer. That was actually my favorite Batman.
Yeah, she was so hot in that. That Catwoman outfit was like she was like the best Catwoman to me.
No, that wasn't Michelle Pfeiffer. That was
Michelle Pfeiffer.
She played Poison Ivy. That's what
I think you're talking about Batman and Robin though. Now.
Oh, which one were we talking about?
I was talking about Batman Forever. Still.
Yeah, but Michelle Pfeiffer wasn't in Batman Forever.
Yes, she was. Right? Or what is the Batman Returns? Maybe is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Batman. I think you're thinking Batman Returns because Nicole Kidman was in Batman Forever. There was no Catwoman in Batman, or Batman Returns was Yeah.
Yeah, as Batman Returns was it or it carried on with Michael Keaton as Batman. And that was the second one.
Yeah.
And then Batman Forever. Who was in Batman Forever? Is that where they introduced the Riddler and Two-Face and
Tommy Lee Jones, Val Kilmer, Nicole Kidman.
Was George Clooney the Batman?
No.
Was that Val Kilmer? Oh, Val Kilmer was the Batman. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that was Uma Thurman. They didn't have Poison Ivy in that one, right? It was Batman and Robin was the one where they had Poison Ivy, and then Victor Freeze.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
God, those two movies were terrible. Those were like just selling toys to kids, essentially. There's just a reason.
I liked Batman Forever.
I didn't like any of them after Batman Returns, up until Batman Begins.
I liked I liked Batman Forever just because it was more of like a fantasy world, and I kind of liked it. Like,
can you go back and watch that movie though? I can't go back and watch that movie.
I could watch it because it was like the first Batman I saw. So like I watch it from the.
That was the first Batman you saw? It was Batman Forever?
Batman Forever.
Wow. Mm-hmm. We were out of the game for a while. My first one was Batman. Was it with Michael Keaton? But
when did that come out?
That had to come out like very early. Batman. It might be too generic. Michael Keaton.
We'll just punch it in the movie database.
1989. So I was 2. So I had to see it after. 2. I mean, I had to see it after. Like I probably watched it when I was young, but like I like maybe when I was like 4 or 5, I started like really getting into it. Because
if I look at it, Batman. We're getting way off topic here, but with Batman. So Batman Forever like came out when I was 10, and so like that was the first time I like kind of was like, oh, Batman, this is awesome.
So what were you watching before that? Murder, She Wrote?
No, I just.
You had to see what movies were you seeing before that?
I just never watched any of the Batman.
What is the first movie you remember seeing?
The first movie? Land Before Time.
Really? Land Before Time? That had to come out. That came out after Batman, didn't it?
Well, I mean, I'm not saying like I was 10. That wasn't the first movie I'm seeing. You're asking me if I remember the first movie I've ever watched.
Yeah.
First movie I ever watched was Land Before Time. I think.
Wow, that came out in 1988. 5. I didn't realize that came out in 1988. That's crazy. I thought that was like made in the 90s. Wrote it? No, that's even stranger.
Yeah.
And it's got a 7.4 out of 10.
1988. I still remember the on the tape I had, the VHS. It had a Pizza Hut commercial on the beginning of it.
Classic. You said you still have the tape?
Oh, I still have the cassette. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I think I got rid of all my VHS. Anything.
I have all my VHSs.
Oh, I wish I had. I used to. I guess we're getting off topic. Let's talk about this later.
We should probably
We should wrap it up. So this is Choice.
This is Tom.
And this was the upper, or no, what the fuck? I'm sorry. I gotta edit that out. Let's do it. Let's do it again. Never mind. I have to edit that out. This is the Applesauce Podcast. Sorry. I got lost for a second. But yeah. So we'll catch you next time.
Later.
See ya.